Hello, this is Dr. Duckham of VINO MD, and this weekend we're having some tasting notes. I wanted to talk about Sauvignon Blanc today, and so I'm going to pour a little bit of it to enjoy it. Sauvignon Blanc is one of the oldest wines in the world. It's kind of grown everywhere. Primarily it's Sancerre in Bordeaux, but it's also grown way over in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, all around the world. In fact, it's a very old wine. It's been around since the Roman times, and as a matter of fact, it had a romantic relationship with Cabernet Franc. And it was several millennia ago, but their offspring was Cabernet Sauvignon, which we all love. So it was a great marriage. It's known for its herbaceous flavors. And its herbaceous flavors are due to methoxypyrazine. It's kind of a hard one for me to say because it's a tongue twister, so we'll just leave it at pyrazines. But the pyrazines in the Sauvignon Blanc is what gives it that unique flavor. And those unique flavors are described as herbaceous, sort of like when you mow a lawn and you get that fresh grassy smell. That's what ends up being the pyrazines which are in the Sauvignon Blanc. And so you'll have anywhere from a few pyrazines or very little amount to really highly concentrated, and that'll change the taste of the Sauvignon Blanc. It'll go from herbaceous, cut grass smells and tastes and things of that nature. Then it moves into the asparagus, a little weird, and then into the bell pepper, even a little weirder. And finally it gets too concentrated and it ends up tasting like cat piss. In any event, my favorites end up being Spotswood, and I also like Robert Mondavi's Fumé Blanc. This is also called the Fumé Blanc, and Fumé Blanc and Sauvignon Blanc are the exact same thing, but in the 1960s, good old Robert Mondavi realized that nobody was buying his Sauvignon Blanc, so he changed the name to Fumé Blanc, and all of a sudden it became very popular. Everybody started buying it, and of course, Robert Mondavi then was able to raise the prices. So now one of the more expensive Fumé Blancs in California is Robert Mondavi's To Kalon Vineyards Reserve. Very expensive, but I like it a lot. In any event, so that's a little bit about what we're drinking today. And I'm having the Danza del Sol, which is from 50-plus-year-old grapes that are grown in Temecula. And it was planted by a doctor over 50 years ago, as I mentioned. And they've left it, and so they're very gnarly, and there'll be a little cut coming up here of me in their vineyards.
Look at this old vine of Sauvignon Blanc. This is like your grandmother having baby.
It has all of the classic Sauvignon Blanc flavors, however. The production is a little bit on the low side because the older you get, the fewer grapes you end up making in your vines. So instead of having 10 or 15 tons or down to 3 tons for the fancy wines, this wine probably ended up around 1 ton of grapes per acre. In any event, that's what I wanted to say. Have a good evening. Toast.